1 o'clock here on a Wednesday. Landrum, Conrad, and Molly talking college football, giving you injury updates leading up to the big game we get for the start of the college football playoff on Friday night. Alabama and Oklahoma in Norman. We had Voice of the Tide, Chris Stewart, presented by Craneworks, talking about that matchup. Meanwhile, the injury report for Alabama, it looks a lot better at this hour.
Yeah, certainly a lot better than it looked a couple of weeks ago in Atlanta for the SEC championship. So Jam Miller and Cam Dewberry, they are off the report, so they are good to go for Friday's game against Oklahoma. Josh Cuevas, he's now questionable, but according to Ryan Grubb yesterday, seems like he's trending in the right direction. And, I mean, Ryan Grubb himself said yesterday we're excited to have him back out there. So seems like he's trending towards – he's trying to play, but based on, the conversations Landrum and I have had on the show today, we expect him to be out there, just probably not at 100%. But the news, LT Overton, he's still going to be out, probably not going to be back at all for the playoff race, even if Alabama goes on a bit of a run here. And then Kevin Riley, the running back, some people thought he might be back. He is out as well, but certainly looking better than it did 2 weeks ago for the Crimson Tide.
A guy that typically has all of the answers. He hears a lot. National college football reporter for Fox and Outkick. It's our buddy Trey Wallace. Seasons greetings, Trey. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just getting ready for a trip to Oxford, Mississippi, to cover a playoff game with Pete Golding and see if Tulane can cause a little chaos. And looking forward to plopping down in Tupelo Friday night and seeing what Oklahoma and Alabama can get into.
Don't want to get your thoughts on the games, but Molly just passed along that we've been talking Christmas movies, and Love Actually ranks at the top of your list. What about Love Actually? Because this is a movie, Trey.
You're going for days, man.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy who sings the song, the track that keeps?
I don't know his name right off the top of my head. He was also in like those movies, Shaun of the Dead. He's in a lot of British movies, but he's I feel it in my fingers. Singing that one.
Feel it in my toes.
Yes, that's exactly right. So it's such a good movie, man. Like honestly, it probably is my favorite Christmas movie, but whatever. It's always like Christmas Vacation and the others thrown in there. So, but yeah, give me something different today, brother.
All right. Well, before we start talking about all of these matchups, I have to ask you, number one, your reaction to the dumpster fire, cesspool, toxic wasteland that is Michigan football right now. And what are you hearing from folks? Is this just the tip of the iceberg? What do you think that they learned in that internal investigation?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a cluster, guys. I think that there is a lot more that's going to come out. I think, look, the investigation is going to take some time as they dig through the athletic department and try to figure out, look, why have we had the NCAA, the FBI, the local police, why have all these people been on our campus for the last 5 years? And, I think a good amount of that comes back. Look, I'm not saying Ward Manuel was involved in the sign stealing allegations, but not allegations anymore. But he was running the program at the time, and so you have to look into this. You have to look into how long did people around there know about Sharon Moore in the inappropriate relationship / affair with the staffer. Why, when they first said no, that they weren't involved, did it get to a point where she then comes back with just mountains of evidence, which 2 hours later led to Sharon Moore being fired? So they got to get to the bottom of this thing. And I understand from the outside looking in, it might be, okay, well, they figured out, inappropriate relationship was not it. There was other stuff going on. So I'm curious to see how far the rabbit hole they go down, where they also don't destroy their athletic department at the same time. Like, I'm sure this law firm has, I don't want to say rules, but like, hey, look, don't absolutely sink us while we're also trying to hire a new football coach. And that's it too. Like, I don't think what's going on or what happened with Michigan over the last, we'll just say, week is going to deter somebody from going to take that job. At the end of the day, it's still Michigan. They got a lot of money. That athletic department is strong. They got a basketball program that's one of the best in the country right now behind Dusty May. And, there's a lot of positives going for it. It's just they can't seem to get out of their own way when it comes to football stuff. So you got to get somebody in there that can turn that thing around. And I'm very, very interested to see maybe heading into Saturday morning, let's just say, who they've got their final eye on, because I think they're down to at least their last 5 or 6 candidates.
Okay. I got to be really
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that one.
creative. Um,
If Alabama loses on Friday night, I'm very interested to see what happens on Saturday. I'm not reporting anything. I'm not saying anything. All I know is that Michigan, and talking with folks, they aren't done trying to go after Kalen DeBoer, even though he put out a statement, even though he said in the press conference, well, yes, I plan on being here. And you know what? Here's the thing. Like, I give credit to them. Like, if they still want to present an offer, and look, if Kalen DeBoer is truly happy and he wants to beat Alabama, then none of this is really going to matter. At the end of the day, it's just a school that is doing everything they can, all their due diligence, to try to get the candidates or candidate that they would potentially want. And I'm not coming out here saying that Kalen DeBoer is number one on their list or anything, but I am saying is I can't blame them for swinging. And so, Penn State did it for fifth and opposite Lane Kiffin. But at the same time, here's my stance on Kalen DeBoer. He's not done anything at Alabama that deserves a contract extension, a raise, more years on his deal. I'm sorry. He just hasn't. I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm just being realistic here. Now, go win a national championship, go play for a national championship. Let's have another discussion. But what have you done in the past 2 years that makes you think that you deserve more money and more years? It's the game that we're in, guys. That's it. Somebody shows attention. Okay, that kind of freaks folks out. But I'll be honest with you. I'd say if I were Alabama, I'd be like, okay, we're going to call you bluff here. You know what I mean? Like, even if that was a choice, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying if that opportunity presented itself. So I don't think Alabama fans have anything to worry about. But at the same time, I can't say I blame Michigan for at least trying to continue to swing, even though they're down 0-3 in the count.
okay, so just a quick follow-up without getting too much deeper, but I have to ask, if this did happen, not projecting that it's going to, but if it did, Greg Byrne, he's got to think quick. Who is that first phone call to?
Oh, goodness gracious. It's certainly not to the guy down in Baton Rouge right now. I'll go ahead and tell you that.
All right, get that one out
even
of the
though
way.
Even though he might crawl over glass to get out of his contract at LSU to go take that potential job. I don't. That's the thing with Alabama. You don't have to go out and hire some home run type of guy. I'm being honest with you. Like, I think that they would be fine if Kane Womack was the head coach. I mean, what's wrong with the coordinator route? And I'm not saying that's going to happen, or I wouldn't say that would happen, or I wouldn't say that would be my number one guy I'd go after or whatnot. But I am saying is we've seen these places around the country, and it's easy to point at Kirby. It's easy to point at Dan Lanning, and be like, all right, look what these guys did when given the opportunity. I think there is enough foundation around Tuscaloosa that not just about anybody can get that job done, but somebody that has that pedigree, at least, and somebody that has a good game plan. So, I mean, I can't sit here and name you off a couple. I mean, would Steve Sarkisian be interested in leaving Texas for Alabama? Like, I don't know if that would work, if I'm being honest with you guys, from an Alabama side. But, there would be multiple big-time candidates that would want that job. I just don't think it comes open at the end of the day.
Well, Trey, something that, would ease the concerns of Alabama fans, whether they're people that are maybe not still on board with Kalen DeBoer or people that love Kalen DeBoer and don't want him to leave, and that's winning the game on Friday, right? Because that's going to make it more difficult for him to depart if he were to want to leave, but it's also going to make you feel a lot better about the progress that this team has made in the second year under Kalen DeBoer. But in order for that to happen, Trey, what do you think you need to see? What do you need to see from this Alabama team that differs from when these teams played a month ago in Norman? Alabama's healthier than they were in Atlanta, but so is Oklahoma. How do you see this game playing out, and do you think that Alabama can walk out of Norman with a victory on Friday?
I do, but man, they got to have a consistent running game. They do. I mean, they got to get over 100. They can't shy away from it. Looks like Jam Miller should be good to go. Really wasn't on the availability report that was released last night, so that's a positive. I think Alabama, and talking with some folks, they're they're about as healed up as you can be this time of year. Everybody's banged up. I don't care if it's Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia. Everybody's dealing with injuries. I think at the same time, to me, Alabama's just got to be consistent. A, running the ball. B, you got to test Oklahoma down the field in the secondary, because Oklahoma's defensive line, man, they're going to bring the pressure on Ty Simpson. So who do you lay back to block that extra defender that's coming in? You know, Alabama's offense hasn't looked the same as what I saw in Athens, Georgia 2 months ago. And that's okay. Whatever. Teams grow, teams get figured out, is what it is. But at the same time, I need to see Ty Simpson sitting in the pocket and picking off receivers down the field. I really need to see Ryan Williams test Oklahoma secondary 30 yards down the field, 40 yards down the field, open it up a little bit. You know, you've got to establish the run game, and I completely respect that, and I understand it, because they're not getting out of Oklahoma if they don't do that. And then on the opposite side of the ball, it's not like Oklahoma's really shown much when it comes to offensive performances with Mateer at quarterback over the last 6 weeks. I mean, even the game in Tuscaloosa, I mean, that wasn't an offensive shootout. It's Oklahoma took advantage of a pick six, and then they kind of added to it. That's some field goals, and it played out Oklahoma's way. I just feel like Oklahoma has the advantage on defense, in my opinion. But at the same time, if Alabama can find ways to kind of break it open a little bit, you know, get 2 touchdowns. I mean, I don't know if this game gets over 24 points. I'm being honest with you.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to ask. If you had a number in your mind
Right.
for one of these teams, like you get to 21, 24, and you should win the game.
I think if Alabama gets to 24 points, I think they should win the football game. Okay. Dead serious. I think that, you know, at the same time, I trust Ty Simpson more right now than I trust John Mateer. And I think that's a really good thing for Alabama fans, because we were all talking about John Mateer, you know, coming out of that right before the Texas game. And then, you know, we see how he's digressed a little bit, which it happens. But I do think Alabama can score enough points to win. I just need to see it on a more consistent basis. And I will say, it's not excuses. Alabama was a banged-up football team going into Atlanta. And Georgia, in my opinion, is playing like a national champion. Like, I got Georgia winning the national championship right now. They're just, ever since that loss to Alabama, it's been a completely different team. So we're going to find out Friday night, man. Like, honestly, it's not a game Alabama can afford to lose, but I could say the same thing about Oklahoma. You know, so that's why this one is so fascinating to me, is because I really don't know what we're going to get, because both these teams are so unpredictable.
Well, they are, and it seems like there's a lack of momentum, really, with both of these teams. Alabama, of course, from what we just saw in kind of that final stretch of the season, but also with Oklahoma. You mentioned the offensive side of the ball, just really nothing to write home about. But that being said, if you take out Tulane, you take out James Madison, our non-power fours of this field, would Alabama and Oklahoma be maybe the two least inspiring teams to you heading in, just based on strengths, weaknesses, and how they played down the stretch?
You were talking about which one's consistent? I'm sorry, you were breaking up in that last one.
Just on as far as buzz, or, man, I feel really good about this team and the run that they could potentially go on in the college football playoff. It seems like right now Oklahoma and Alabama, fair or unfair, strengths, how they have looked recently, those would be two of the Power Four teams in this field that you would say, well, one of them is going to win this game, but I can't see them going much further.
Like, I don't see Alabama or Oklahoma going out to the Rose Bowl and controlling Indiana's offense.
Right.
Just being honest. Like, if you're trying to get into a shootout with Indiana, and people can think whatever they want to think about Indiana, but Indiana is a darn good football team. They've proven it. It's kind of like how folks looked at Vanderbilt. You know what I mean? They really didn't know how to look at Vanderbilt, even though they won 10 games this year. It's kind of the same thing for Indiana, but Indiana's a better team. You look at him like, wait a minute, they won the Big Ten, they're 13-0, got a Heisman Trophy winner. The resume's there. So I don't know if there's a team in Norman, Oklahoma on Friday night that can go out to the Rose Bowl and win that. So that's what makes that one, to me, so intriguing. I mean, sure, would it be neat to see Alabama play Indiana? You know, I know what their seedings are. But let's be honest with each other. It'd be like David and Goliath. I mean, it's Indiana trying to knock off Alabama. So I just there's a part of me that thinks no matter who wins this game on Friday night, they're going out to the Rose Bowl to get beat. And I mean that in a way of offensive production. Now, guys, if Alabama comes out and scores 35 points on Friday night against this Oklahoma defense, we might have a different conversation next week. But as we sit here right now, I don't think the winner of Friday night's advancing past the quarterfinal.
Trey Wallace of Fox and Outkick joining us for a couple more moments here on Three Man Front. Let's get to another game quickly, Trey. I would say, again, for our listeners, obviously a lot of interest in the game on Friday, but just looking at the first round slate, taking away who you root for, who your favorite team is, I think Miami, Texas A&M is the most intriguing game, and hopefully
Yep.
going to be the best game of this upcoming weekend. How do you see that game? I know A&M is right around a 3-point favorite at home against Miami. Do you give Miami a real shot in this one, or do you think Texas A&M, are they going to start looking like the team maybe we saw before they lost to Texas at the end of the regular season?
Man, I think Miami can go in there and win that football game with their offense. I do. I love what Mike Elko and them have done. Don't get me wrong. But when Miami's clicking, Miami's clicking. And the one thing to me that stands out the most about this one is Miami's defensive line putting the pressure on Marcel Reed. Do they force him into mistakes? Like this is probably the best game of the weekend. It should be, at least from a standpoint of just looking at it. I think that there's been so much talk around Miami and their strength of schedule, like, whatever. We go on for days about that, whether they should have been in over Notre Dame and I think Miami's trying to go prove a point. At the same time, you're going to go into Cal Field. The only thing I hate about this game is because it's 11 o'clock in the morning. But I understand why they put it there, because you're not going up against the NFL on Saturday night. So that one's going to be fascinating because of the teams in it. The reason why Ole Miss and Tulane is so fascinating is because we want to see what life without Lane Kiffin looks like in the playoff. And at the same time, you've got 7 LSU staff members that are currently coaching Ole Miss in the college football playoff. Like where does this stuff happen? You don't see this type of thing. Is Lane Kiffin going to show up in a disguise at Vaught Hemingway and try to sit somewhere in the stands by himself to watch the game, or is he going to ride around the Goodyear blimp above the stadium? And it's so I understand there are so many interesting dynamics to this, and the outlier, and not a lot of people are talking about here. I get that Ole Miss beat up on Tulane earlier in the season, but that was a game where John Summerall didn't have any advanced warning about Trinidad Shambliss. I'm not saying it would have been different. I'm not saying that Tulane would have won that game, but Tulane's continued to get better throughout the season. And we think we know what to expect out of Ole Miss, but we don't really know, what's that situation going to be like with 5 minutes to go, and Ole Miss is up, or what kind of call is Pete Golding going to make as the head coach? Like, I'm curious about this stuff. And I will say this, if Ole Miss loses that game on Saturday to Tulane, you can expect half the fans in that stadium to get in their car, drive 400 miles south to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and just start a picket line outside Lane Kiffin's new house. Like that. So if you want crazy storylines, you root for Tulane to beat Ole Miss because it's going to get nutty. But I think at the end of the day, Ole Miss is going to play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and that would be a potential spot. And they would go out to the Fiesta Bowl. So it's going to be an interesting 2 weeks, guys.
Is there a dark horse that you would like to throw out there that you think has the potential to win it all when it's all said and done?
I've stuck with Georgia for the last 2 weeks. Playing the best football, I think, in the country right now, ever since that loss to Alabama. And I know that's the easy way to put it, but if folks really look at Georgia this year, you'd understand that this team grew every single week. This wasn't the dominant Georgia football team that we've seen in the past. Maybe your outlier here is Ole Miss. I'll be honest with you. Like we can talk about Texas Tech and their roster and the money spent. We can talk about Indiana and Ohio State and Oregon. But what about Ole Miss? Does Ole Miss take everything that's happened in the last 4.5 weeks and go on a run? I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying you get a chance to play Georgia once again, and you do that with a healthy roster, and you do that with an opportunity at a semifinal. I'm just saying
It
anything can
would be
happen. So
so poetic, though, for Pete Golding to
right.
win a national
Oh, that'd be
championship as the
awesome.
head coach of Ole Miss while Lane Kiffin has to watch. Oh,
Well, the funny part is, I'll tell you, the funny part is New Orleans only about an hour and 20 minutes away from Baton Rouge. If
hmm
Ole Miss wins that game on Saturday, you can bet your bottom dollar Lane Kiffin's going to be stuck somewhere inside that Superdome next week in some
Oh,
suite
yeah.
trying to be off television. But you know he's going to be there. So I'm a Pete Golding fan, to be honest with you, and how he's handled all this stuff. So I'm fascinated to see where this thing goes. Again, if we get a matchup in New Orleans, not this weekend, but next weekend on a New Year's Eve at 8 o'clock at night, and we'll see what kind of mustache Kiffin wears to try to keep the disguise up.
I'm sure he's got plenty. That being said, final question, not specific, but at the end of the day, Michigan, their head football coach, when they hire him, does he come from the SEC?
Mm, I'm going to say no. Doesn't come from the SEC.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
No. I don't think you can go out hire Drinkwitz right now, if I'm being honest with you. So, and I don't think Kalen DeBoer is going to go.
Clark Lee,
But
no.
I'll leave it with what I said earlier. They'll get beat 24-3 in Norman on Friday night, and Alabama fans will be right back where they were heading into the Iron Bowl. Or if he loses this game, we don't care if he's back as our head coach next year.
Trey Wallace, Fox and Outkick, you're the best.
You
Merry
know
Christmas.
it's true.
Yes, it is. Yes. That should be a fun
I
time in
know.
Oxford.
It is. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Like excited to see what the atmosphere is like, and I'll get in there tomorrow afternoon, do some stories on Friday. But again, thanks for having me. Thanks for putting up with my Christmas movie take, and I hope you have a happy holiday.
You can feel it in your toes.
My man.
Thank you, Trey. Merry
Trey,
Christmas, man.
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, boys. Be good.
You
Bye-bye.
as well. Trey Wallace. I love that guy.
Great guy.
Yeah, Fox and Outkick joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham's your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Some big news just coming down the pipe for Alabama ahead of their game with Oklahoma on Friday. We'll tell you the big news pertaining to Alabama next on Three Man Front.
127 just wrapped up a great conversation. Trey Wallace, if you missed that, you want to go and find it there at jocksfm.com and the three-man front podcast. Lots of juicy nuggets concerning Kalen DeBoer, the Michigan job, who potentially lands there, and his thoughts on the college football playoff.
And there is, as teased, some big news for the Alabama Crimson Tide as they get ready to face Oklahoma on Friday in the college football playoff. Kalen DeBoer speaking with local media on a Zoom call moments ago. He says that both Danny Lewis and Josh Cuevas will be available on Friday. So the big question mark for a lot of Alabama fans
has come early.
Josh Cuevas will be available on Saturday or Friday against Oklahoma. This is the quote from Kalen DeBoer. Josh is an excellent player. So not only is he great in the pass game, but he's great in the run game as well. Being able to just see him on the field and have his presence is remarkable, especially having him in the huddle, just a different type of vibe when he's in there. Very excited about that.
Yes.
So there you go. The starting tight end for the Alabama Crimson Tide will be back. After torching the Sooners secondary in early November, he will be back on Friday. So
cue up Mariah. All I want for Christmas is Cuevas.
So unless there's a new addition, I like that. Unless there's a new addition tonight or tomorrow to the injury report, this means that everybody that was on the injury report, so Cuevas and Danny Lewis, they're going to be good. They're going to be available. So all the injury news for Alabama. LT Overton's out, but other than that, looking crystal clear for Friday.
All right, go stats, Cuevas, right now. How many catches? How many targets?
20 targets, 18 catches, 300 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
What if he did have a crazy stat line? Cuevas is playing. All right, he's out there, and then Ty Simpson just throws to him all the time.
Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. So if you go back to what he did against Oklahoma, that was the last game he played in before he got hurt. 6 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Easily his best game as a member of the Alabama Crimson Tide. So a big get there for Alabama as their tight end will be available on Friday against the Sooners in the college football playoff.
And Cuevas hasn't just been good this year. He was good last year. Everybody's talking about C.J. Dupree, and then early in the season, we saw it in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Hit a long touchdown.
Yeah, no, he did. And you go back, the Oklahoma and LSU games, those are the last 2 games he played in. Those were his best games. So he was getting better and getting more involved in the offense we saw as the season was going along. So I know no one is happier than Ty Simpson to get the news that Josh Cuevas will be back on the field on Friday. But that has to make you feel a little bit better if you're an Alabama fan looking at the matchup on Friday.
Yes. Somebody texting in, y'all must be drinking, LOL, hallelujah, RTR. No?
I just thought that was worth celebrating because we've been, as Landrum said, talking about this guy for weeks.
I was going to be really, really, really disappointed if Cuevas didn't play.
There were going to be a lot of really disappointed people.
Just felt like I've wasted a lot of oxygen on Josh Cuevas.
Yes, but good to know that he will be ready to suit up on Friday. We'll see, again, that doesn't mean that he's going to play every snap or anything, but certainly having him available, that'll help.
Somebody adding, imagine if Tulane wins against Ole Miss, the Sugar Bowl, ABC, ESPN, City of New Orleans would freak out.
That would be something. That would certainly be
something. Where do you think
Lane
watches the game? It's not going to be from anywhere inside the state of Mississippi.
Okay, so did you see this side note about Lane Kiffin? Apparently he went back to Oxford to the hot yoga place for one more session. Like in the past couple days, he went back to Oxford because one of the teachers there posted a picture and said, "Oh, Lane missed us so much he had to come back for one more lesson." And it was Lane Kiffin in Oxford.
You must know that your group really, really loves you.
I would love to know if he went to Baton Rouge and tried to get into a hot yoga clinic. Like, no, we're good. We're sorry. We kind of like to keep this more low key. Sorry, Lane. He's like, well, I guess I got to fly to Oxford.
Nope. Last coach we let in here, Coach O, and we're not doing it again. Nope.
Yeah. So
we don't have many rules, but we have a few.
I thought that was interesting. But I like Trey's point about, if Ole Miss wins and they're playing in the Sugar Bowl against Georgia, how does Lane does he pull like a Connor Stallions, right, and try to do the disguise? Does he go up in a suite?
I thought it was interesting when he said, too, just remember, John Summerall, this last time, didn't know that they were going to get Trinidad Chambliss. So,
true.
It's
interesting.
You would
expect a more competitive showing from Tulane than the first time.
Well, it's also, it's interesting where the spread is, at 17.5, which is kind of modest. I think James Madison, a 21-point dog at Oregon.
I would certainly expect the Tulane and Ole Miss game to be, if I had to pick, I would think that one would be more likely to be competitive than James Madison and Oregon.
And he didn't say it, but he kind of said it. He thinks that Miami's offense is going to be a problem for Texas A&M. Could be a big problem.
If Carson Beck doesn't turn the ball over, they're great.
Yeah.
But when they've lost games this year, he's been bad, and he's turned the ball over and made multiple times.
Sound familiar? Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready for Friday. It's going to be fun.
Molly Marinates. We can do it next on 3-Man Front.
One 35 here on your Wednesday afternoon. Welcome back into 3-Man Front. Conrad Landrum and Molly here with you, about to get into some Molly Marinates in just a moment. But if you missed it, we shared the good news. If you're an Alabama fan, Kalen DeBoer confirms that Josh Cuevas will be available on Friday against Oklahoma in the college football playoff. So that's good news if you're an Alabama fan. And also some good news just coming down if you're an Auburn fan, as it would appear based on his social media, Xavier Atkins, the star linebacker there for the Auburn Tigers, he has posted an official graphic from Auburn, and it says "run it back." So that makes me believe that Xavier Atkins has been retained and will be a focal point, and we would assume one of the best defensive players in the country yet again next year for DJ Durkin and this Auburn defense. So some very good news there. If you're Auburn, I would say he was probably the most important player on your roster to retain moving forward, and they appear to have done so with Xavier Atkins coming back for another year.
That is certainly good news for Auburn. What else is good news is our friends at Prize Picks. Prize Picks join millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Prize Picks is simple to play. You pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get the picks right, you could cash in. We are going college football. This evening, we have 2 games. We got one that's starting at 4, another one starting later on. That one features Delaware and University of Louisiana Lafayette. Tony Sterner started his career at Incarnate Word. Do you know the position that Tony Sterner plays for Louisiana Lafayette?
I'm going to guess that he is a running back.
Tony Sterner is a kicker.
Oh. Okay.
1.5 field goals made. More or less?
I like this one.
I'll give you his stat line. Versus Rice, he was 2 for 2 on field goals.
Okay,
He had a 51-yarder and one that he hit 40 to 49.
Man, can we get that kid to Tuscaloosa?
Just saying.
I'm based on that. I'm going more.
He has 2 made field goals in his last 2 games.
Well, he's going to have 2 tonight.
So you're going to go more there.
More.
All right. How about, should we go Delaware's kicker?
Yeah, sure. Is it 1.5?
I got to look up his stats. That's Nate Reed.
Oh, Nate Reed. Yeah, I'm sure he's on the Lou Groza award shortlist or something along those lines.
Let's see. He is a Mannheim, Pennsylvania native. He's a senior.
Let's see. 16 of 21 on field goals
He's got
this
his
year.
life together. He is a career Delaware Blue Hen football player. He's never been in the portal.
I love that. Perfect on all. Made every extra point attempt this year.
Ooh, but I am looking at his game log. He was heavy in November of kicking. Yeah, he made 4 field goals in their last game. Wow.
Okay, well, then we're going more for him as well.
All right, we'll go more on both of those. How about Prize Picks? You can download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WJOX. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX. $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Well, not only is Molly great at doing Christmas vacation impressions, she's also great at coming up with 5 questions. This is what we call Molly Marinates.
Molly Marinates. And as always, Molly Marinates / Pat Ponders is brought to you by Courtesy GMC out in Trustful. Go check out their great deals. All righty. Question number 1. So earlier in the first hour of the show, we touched on the Bass Pro Shop Pyramid out in Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
So that got me marinating. What is the strangest landmark that you have ever visited?
Ooh, that's such a good question. Strangest landmark.
Like we also talked about the largest ball of twine, something like that.
Yes.
I have a couple.
So I have walked the path, which I'm sure a lot of people have in Dallas, where President Kennedy was assassinated.
Yep.
Daily Plaza. Trying to think. That wouldn't be like an odd place, though.
I was about to say, I'm trying to think, like, again, because I haven't been to this one. Oh, okay. I've got a great one for the state of Alabama. It's not bizarre, but it's the one that everybody knows. It's the go to church or the devil will get you sign on the way to the beach.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's like that's one of those for if you live in Alabama,
You know
it's
that is.
normal. But
Yeah.
if you're out of Alabama and you tried to explain it, what?
Out in Colorado, we went to the hot springs,
Oh, cool.
and there were several different springs that you can get in. You know, they kind of elevate in temperature.
Yeah.
But just interesting, the people watching and the people who were there. It's like 5 degrees outside, but you're there. It was weird.
So
It's different.
I've always thought that this was a little weird, and I understand like the significance of it, but it's Chicago, right, where there's the giant bean.
Yeah.
Like I've always just thought that's kind of funny. Like you just have this giant metallic bean
Yeah.
in the middle of your city, and it's like one of the biggest cities in the world. It's just a big old bean statue. Like it's just so random.
I had 2 immediately come to mind when I was thinking of this question. Number 1 is Carhenge out in Alliance, Nebraska, and it's essentially like
Stonehenge,
but it's
cars?
made out of old
That's good.
cars.
That's cool.
And it's Alliance is way out in western Nebraska. So if you're ever out there, go check it out. Another one, I can't remember what city it's in South Dakota, but the Corn Palace.
Okay.
It's a palace literally made of corn out in South Dakota.
And we've looked that one up, I think, on the show before. There's another one, now that you say that I'm thinking about. We used to drive to Demopolis, And when you would go, and it was from Utah to Demopolis, there was a stretch, and there's a lot of pastures both sides of the road. There's one guy who's got these big, gigantic hay bales, and he would put them out there, but he would dress them up in form like you would have a train, a tractor, a person, all kinds of different objects and things that he would do out of these big hay rolls.
Another one I've been to, and this isn't necessarily strange, but the very end of the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks, when he delivers the last package to that farm in Texas, we have been to that crossroads and to that farm.
Really?
Okay.
Okay, that's very cool.
My next door neighbor, Gary, went to the house that Christmas movie, Christmas Story.
Oh, in Chicago. Oh, wait, no. I'm thinking of Home Alone. Sorry.
Cleveland, in Ohio.
Yeah.
He's been there.
Paige went to and I wouldn't want to go here. She's been to the hotel from The Shining.
Oh, in Colorado?
Yeah, she's been there.
That's so cool.
That place would freak me out.
I don't think I could stay there,
Yeah,
though.
it'd be creepy, but it'd be cool.
We went to a theme hotel actually in Denver because we were getting picked up the next morning. So we stayed in one of these theme hotels, and one of the floors, it was the Shining floor. It was all black, red lights.
Oh, yeah.
You had the two creepy little kids.
The twins, yeah.
Great answers, everyone.
That's a great question.
Okay, next question.
We stayed on the arcade floor.
Yeah,
it's more my speed.
Yeah. I want you to put yourself in the mind of any one of the SEC head coaches. Who do you think they consider as their cousin Eddie, like amongst the other SEC head coaches?
Oh, it's got to be Drink. That's my first reaction.
Okay.
Would be Drink.
And kind of a part two of this question, which Christmas character would you pair with a certain SEC head coach?
I think now maybe Pete Golding might be considered the cousin Eddie of the league.
Okay, fair.
Submit him. Maybe Josh Heupel.
See, I was thinking. Yeah, but I didn't want to be mean. But yeah.
Bobby.
I'm trying to think of other characters that you would pair. Like, who would be the best? I guess I'm trying to think. Who would be the best Santa Claus out of SEC head coaches?
Well, it would have been Pittman.
Well, yes, it would have been. It would have been Pittman.
Pittman would have been a great Santa.
See, because now I'm thinking like I could see Heupel for that. I could see Kirby for that too. But like he'd be a little too, he'd be impatient with like the kid. Well, I don't know what I want from Kirby, but get on with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a good question. I do think Pete Golding, though, would probably be the cousin Eddie mold now.
How do you think I get to so many houses every Christmas? I don't know. You tell me how you do it. That's just something I could see Kirby after a long day of sitting.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Or like who would be Clark? Clark W. Griswold.
See, that would be Eli Drinkwitz.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. That one works. I like that.
See, I was also maybe thinking Lane Kiffin because can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Well,
yeah, but Clark, like he was a good family man, though. You knew that he went home and he cared about his wife and children. I don't really. Get
Lane would
that
be the
vibe with
boss.
Lane.
He would be the boss that they kidnapped.
Yeah, that'd probably be the closest one for him. It's either that or cousin Eddie.
Lane. No. He's Todd.
That's so good.
He's Todd.
Why is the carpet wet?
Todd Margo. Yep. That's Lane.
Brilliant. Yep, you're right.
All right.
All right.
One more question.
What you got?
And we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I just want to make it clear I had this written down before.
Okay.
Your favorite non-traditional Christmas movie. So not like a Christmas Story or Christmas Vacation, but a movie more along the lines of The Gremlins. Some people, I don't really see it as a Christmas movie, but some people say Harry Potter because they have the winter scenes, the Christmassy scenes. So just or like Die Hard, prime example.
Batman is Harry Potter's a really good one. See, I was thinking of.
See, I love watching Harry Potter around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was other kind of Christmas movies. Would you count Lethal Weapon? That's kind of like it takes place around the holidays.
See, I think Gremlins
that
is
kind
a
of
good
fits
one.
the middle. I liked Gremlins.
Well, Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hands down.
It's a great movie.
That's a great one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best movies ever. Yeah, there's
a lot you can think of.
I was about. There's a lot of really good ones.
Jumanji, did that happen during the holidays?
Was the game a Christmas gift, maybe?
It's been years since I've seen Jumanji.
I was about to say, I've only seen the original one. I haven't seen
I haven't seen the new one either.
I haven't seen
the Kevin Hart ones. I can't imagine those are very good.
Well, the original, though, that was Robin Williams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the original's good. See, this one's like Edward Scissorhands. Is that
That's another movie I haven't seen in a really long time.
Is that a movie that takes place at Christmas, I guess? I don't know. I guess really, you can make anything a Christmas movie if you really want to.
Those hay rolls are in Forkland, Jason says. Thank you, Jason. Neat place. Yep. Somebody says, I'll be going past it in about 20 minutes, heading to Demopolis. All right, cool. Thanks for listening. Thanks for chiming in.
Very cool.
And that's Molly Marinates.
All right, Molly, thank you so much. We'll continue. We got more to share on this Wednesday. Three-Man Front continues.
$151 here on your Wednesday afternoon. Appreciate you tuning in to Three-Man Front today. Conrad Landrum and Molly. Few more minutes of today's program before we hand you off to Paul Feinbaum. We'll be back with you tomorrow from 10 to 2 as we inch closer and closer to the college football playoff. A quick reminder of what you have if you missed some of the big news and some of the action going on tonight. You have a couple of bowl games to pick from tonight. At 4 o'clock, you're going to get Old Dominion in South Florida in the Cure Bowl on ESPN. At 7:30 tonight on ESPN, you have Louisiana and Delaware in the 68 Ventures Bowl. You've got Alabama, South Florida basketball tonight. That's going to be a 7 o'clock tip on SEC Network Plus. And the big headlines, Landrum, that have come down in the last half hour, something like that. Josh Cuevas, Kalen DeBoer confirms he will be available for Alabama on Friday against Oklahoma. So a big get there on the injury front for the Crimson Tide. And it appears that Xavier Atkins, the star defensive player there for the Auburn Tigers, that he has signed a new deal. Don't know any of the details yet, but he's posting a graphic of running it back for one more year with the Auburn Tigers. So Alabama gets good injury news for their playoff game, and Auburn retains arguably their best player this year for 2026.
Well, one couple just got some good news. This is the part of the worst / best thing that I've seen. This is a feel good story. This is great.
Okay.
It is for me, anyways. I'm not going to speak for all of you. Richard Davies, 49, and his wife Faye Stevenson Davies, 43, live in Wales across the pond.
Okay.
They volunteer with the homeless and the mentally ill. Just hit the lottery. A $1 million jackpot.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's awesome times two.
Okay.
That's because this kind-hearted do-gooder couple from Wales has won the $1 million jackpot for the second time in 7 years.
Whoa. What?
Beating the astronomical 24 trillion to 1 odds.
That's incredible.
They first won the Euro Millions Millionaire Maker drawing in June of 2018, earning them €1 million, or roughly 1.3 million over here. But they've won it again. They matched two numbers and won a free lucky dip. That put us into the next draw and so on until the winning draw.
That is remarkable.
Davey says he will work 7 days a week as a courier during the busy package delivery season. Meanwhile, his wife will continue to offer mental health services to her clients, including on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's
wonderful people doing good for other people and getting it paid back, and I'm sure that they will pay it forward.
I was about to say, it's good to see when good people have good things happen to them.
Yep.
It's interesting you bring that up because I saw this story earlier. So you can't do it here in the state, but if you're listening to us outside of the state of Alabama, they're having the next drawing for the Powerball tonight. The jackpot for the Powerball, Landrum, is up to $1.25 billion. Billion. That would be a heck of a Christmas gift
Leave
for
now.
somebody out there.
You'll be back in time.
Somebody's got to win it.
That's going to do it for us. Appreciate all of our guests. For Molly, for Conrad, the vacationing Pat, I'm Landrum. God is great. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.